direct Chablis. Clear direct Chablis.
Gave you too much, now I'm swallowed.
Discretion, maintain level 240.
Now I'm the fool while you're breaking rules.
Hello everybody, welcome to Flight Ops Academy. My name is Ricardo Bengoa, and today we're going to talk to you about basic weather and why there's weather on Earth. The principal reason as to why we have weather in the first place, it's the way our Earth rotates. We tend to think that we have a North Pole on the north, very tip, and a south on the south, and we spin around that. Yet that's not quite the case. See, the Earth is actually rotating around the Sun at a 23.5 degree angle. That right there makes all the difference in the world. Now let's take a look at this rotation of the Earth. We draw a sun, it will radiate its sunlight everywhere. In this case, we're looking at the Earth somewhere between June and July. Now, June and July we tend to think of as summer months, but that's only in the northern hemisphere because it receives most of the sunlight. Southern hemisphere that receives less sunlight, it's actually winter. Now, as the Earth rotates around to the other side of the Sun, we get the same tilt, but opposite now, which would be the months of December and January, with the North Pole pointing away from the Sun and the South Pole pointing towards the Sun. In this case, during these months, the Northern Hemisphere will experience winter, while the Southern Hemisphere will experience summer. This is due to the fact that the Earth being on the other side, now the North Pole will receive less sunlight and will be colder. The South Pole will receive more sunlight, making it warmer. That's how the Earth tends to orbit all the way around the Sun in a year, creating areas of cool weather and warm weather in different areas. Okay, now let's look at the Earth where we're used to. We're at the very top, we're going to put the North Pole, and at the very bottom, we're going to put the South Pole. And this is how we split the Earth. Right down the middle, we call that the equatorial line. Underneath it, you'll find the Tropic of Capricorn. Above it, Tropic of Cancer. And then at the very top and bottom, the Arctic and Antarctic circles. During most of the year, the equator is the one that receives most of the heat, while the poles receive the least. That means that the equator will always be brewing heat, while the tropics will most likely be pulling that heat in. Air will come up, warm, it will cool down, go down, and so forth. Now what ends up happening, the sun beats down on the ground or the water, and in itself will radiate out. Now this is the interesting part. If the heat is being radiated up, it's going to create, in that sense, an area of high pressure above and low pressure on the ground. Now, if the Earth is cool and it's pulling the air in, it's going to create a low area of pressure on top and a high at the bottom. And as you learn in basic chemistry and physics, if you have an area of high pressure and an area of low pressure, they're going to try to equalize high pressure going towards the low. Now, something funky happens in the Earth and they actually fly parallel. That's called the Coriolis effect, and we'll talk about that in another video. And believe it or not, it is as simple as that. That's the whole reason why we have weather on Earth. There's areas that heat up, rising air, cool down, sucking the air in, creating areas of high pressure, low pressure. They all try to equalize each other, but just as they're almost there, some other place will heat up or cool off. There's a constant change. This, due to the Earth's daily rotation around its axis and the Earth orbit around the Sun. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video. For more information on how to become a dispatcher and get into a new career in aviation, visit us at www.flightopsacademy.com.
Gave you too much, now I'm swallowed. Now I'm the fool while you're breaking rules.